I'm one person that believes that we don't have any dull child. We have bad teachers. And we don't have bad teachers if they're actually trained to do the right thing. The problem we have in Nigeria is that we want to use the British curriculum, and most of those teachers don't have the exposure, and they don't know how to go about deploying this curriculum, and nobody's hand-holding and training them to ensure that they're delivering at the optimal level. So I decided that first, I will start a school. Secondly, I would train my teachers. Initially, I thought it was going to be a lot of work. But I think because it's something that I enjoy doing, and I think that a lot of children will benefit from what I can offer, in the sense that I'm making, learning very real, and also I'm bringing in discipline. All right. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited to be here as well. And I think it's a good thing to be able to share my journey, because I believe life is a journey. I'm not at my destination yet. I'm still work in progress. But I'm very happy with where I am today. And I will say that, I grew up in a home where my dad raised us to be disciplined and to be go-getters and to, be resilient and, but extremely strict as well. So, and then because I grew up in a home also with a stepmom, I grew up really fast. My stepmom shipped me to boarding house at 9. So I've always wanted, my dream was to, start a family and, be able to, bring the love that I felt I lacked in my home. Not because my dad didn't love me, but I think he just didn't know how to express it. So in finding a life partner, I wanted a man that was solidly a family person. And I can tell you 100% my husband is a family person. So I got married at a very young age. I was 24 when I got married, and we went off to live in the Middle East because he worked for Shell, and Shell sent him on cross-posting. And while I was there, I was hoping to start a family very early, but somehow it didn't come. So rather than just waiting at home doing nothing, I've never known how not to do anything. Remember I said I grew up very fast with my stepmom, so I've always known how to use my hands. So I lived across the Shell school, so I just went to volunteer, rather than just doing nothing. And that's when I discovered actually that I had a gifting for children. And that was how my journey of becoming an educator started. Yeah. And I think that just seeing Nigerian children come into the Shell school and seeing how they were struggling to settle in, not because they were not smart, but they were not exposed to, creative learning and expressions. And so I saw that, there was a gap there. And unfortunately for me, my son came in 3 years after, I think. Toby was just 1 when we were due to come back to Nigeria. So I dreamt that, okay, I will start a school in Nigeria, like the Shell School, where children can actually learn in a creative manner. And so when I came back, I started my school. And I think all my life, I've always been that person that will put things together and put it well, because that was how I was raised. In fact, it was just recently that I changed my language from perfection to excellence, because really perfection is an illusion. You can never be perfect. You can only strive to be excellent at what you do, So when I started my school, my first son went off to Norwegian school, because I didn't start early. I was still waiting to get the funds and just get everything together. So I started from my, not my living room, but like my patio. So I used to put my friends' children together and teach them, and then until I started my school. And that's something I really enjoyed doing. And then we got transferred, or my husband got transferred to Lagos. And because we're a family people, I had to move to Lagos with my husband, and while we're in Lagos, it began to look like we needed to re-strategize running the school. And my husband thought it was best to, form a board, and he wanted to be more active so that the business could run effectively. And, when you're used to doing something for 10 years, trust me, it wasn't easy, exactly my own way. I was my own boss. I wasn't answerable to anybody. And, the board brought in the structure and made me realize that I need to, answer to somebody or answer to the board. And that was really, really hard. And for me, so when people ask me, when I say that was hard, it wasn't about submitting to authority or not wanting to be bossed around. I just felt that the board was constraining. So I was used to taking decisions. I think entrepreneurs, they understand quick action and fast action. And when you're talking to a board, they would have to deliberate and take their time. So that was so frustrating. And I began to lose myself. And it took me a while to realize that this wasn't working, in the sense that it was taking away the very thing that brought me joy. So rather than being able to, do things my way, I had to learn how to pass it through the board. That was hard. And once I recognized that it had nothing to do with me, I'm just an instrument. And that's why I love that Nathaniel Bassey's song, Take the Stage, Lord, have your way. And when you're done, let all the glory return to you. I think that song really helped me, come to my own, in the sense that it didn't matter who was running the affairs of the school. It didn't matter if the board was controlling what was happening. What mattered was that the school was doing well, the children were excelling, and they were able to, the vision was still strong and powerful. So I adjusted my thinking, and I think that's Port Harcourt is now flourishing. There was this family, the Skills family. They had 3 children, and they were coming from a school so they used to come for my lessons. And after a while, the mom spoke to me and said, Mrs. A, we were in your school in Port Harcourt, then we moved to Abuja, and then we came to Lagos. And I can see the difference in my children. Once I had the opportunity of sitting under your tutelage, why don't you start a school? And I'm like, start a school? I was like 47, 48. I'm like, do I really have the time to start a school again? But then I had a teacher of mine, a teacher who worked with me in Port Harcourt, moved to Lagos as well. And she said to me, all these gaps, you can't fix it with lessons. Some of the gaps are really, really wide, and there's no way 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 times a week can do this work. So, and I think that because I'm actually truly passionate about education, I think that I'm one person that believes that we don't have any dull child. We have bad teachers. And we don't have bad teachers if they're actually trained to do the right thing. The problem we have in Nigeria is that we want to use the British curriculum, and most of those teachers don't have the exposure, and they don't know how to go about deploying this curriculum, and nobody's hand-holding and training them to ensure that they're delivering at the optimal level. So I decided that first, I would start a school. Secondly, I would train my teachers. Thirdly, I would not assume my teachers know how to interpret the curriculum. So I would always bring down the curriculum, and I always run the training. And I would also ensure that the curriculum is relatable. So that's what a lot of us do not understand. Curriculums are meant to be relatable. The British curriculum was built for the British. I give an example. So there's this thing that they will ask children to write stories with familiar settings. Okay. The word familiar settings, because we're using the British curriculum, we're using books from the British curriculum. So the familiar settings will be castles, will be countrysides, will be farms. Okay. Guess what? How many children go to the farms in Nigeria? Or how many children have been to the countryside? Yes, our villages can pass as countryside, but really, we don't have such in Nigeria. Castles are like, dream homes for a lot of children. They see it on TV, but it's not familiar. So I would tell my teachers that, what do you think is familiar to the children? So we want to talk about, the market, churches, a visit to grandma's house. That's a familiar setting. Schools, where the children spend bulk of their time in Nigeria. Starting Cassia School, it's been a blessing. Initially, I thought it was going to be a lot of work. But I think because it's something that I enjoy doing, and I think that a lot of children will benefit from what I can offer. in the sense that I'm making, learning very real. And also, I'm bringing in discipline. I think that's one thing that is really beginning to erode the system in Nigeria. We are raising children who do not understand boundaries. It's good to have a voice, but to what extent are you using that voice? It's very important. And I think that's what makes up Mrs. A, the reason why I wake up every morning excited and, looking forward to my day is because I have 2 schools that I think I'm bringing value to. Port Harcourt, I did it for 10 good years. So the fact that I had, left Mrs. A behind in Port Harcourt, even though I'm not in Port Harcourt, everything speaks Mrs. A still in Port Harcourt. So people are able to, even when they employ new teachers, they're able to tell them that this is how we've been doing it. I also was able to create like a working document for everybody. It doesn't matter who is running or who is behind the management of the school, but the vision of the school remains the same, So I think what Lagos will have over Port Harcourt is my presence. The fact that I'm physically in Lagos, but in Port Harcourt, we do Zoom. Once in a while, I fly in. But I also know, it's about like building a house. You know how they say after a while, your house will settle. So I think Port Harcourt people, the house is set, and the people, I have staff who have worked there for 15 years plus. So, it's not easy to have people that have worked with you for that long. We have built staff who believe so much in the vision and they're running with it excellently well. So, yeah. Coming to Lagos, I think Lagos, because it's new, this is our 3rd academic year, and the fact that I'm able to go in every day will make it seem like they are getting the best of Mrs. A. But the lesson I've learned from Port Harcourt, I'm trying not to repeat the same thing, where it was almost like I was subsumed into Port Harcourt. And when I left, there was a bit of, shaking, yes, for them to settle. So in Lagos, I'm empowering them very quickly to stand on their own. So, when you give somebody a blueprint, they'll be able to run with it. So I'm not making that same mistake in Lagos. I'm giving them the blueprints. I'm allowing them, to own the journey. All I'm doing is providing steers and direction from behind. But because I also enjoy teaching, once in a while, I'm able to go into a classroom and, use this as a coaching and mentoring and training ground for new teachers or for a teacher that I think is struggling in an area. So that's what I do. Like last year, I was in reception, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I was teaching the reception class and I had a teacher shadowing me. And now she's taking reception this year. And now I hardly even go to that classroom. And she's doing fantastically well because I think I have set her up, to do well. So growing up, my father, like I said, was very intentional about raising us up. We lived in a house where it was almost mechanical. You knew what to do at the right time. There was never a downtime. I used to tell my daughter when she would tell me, oh, she has period pain, she's not able to do something. I'm like, during my time, there was nothing like period pain. We used to have morning devotion at 6 a.m. and you had better be in the sitting room at 6 a.m. for morning devotion. So I've always been that person that would work and work and work and work. And that's why I would go on a posting with my husband. As a new bride, rather than enjoying the time of not working, I went looking for a job. I went to volunteer just so that I won't have, to be idle. So I've always believed that you need to work hard, to prove yourself. But I think as I was turning 50, and I realized that I've been that woman who had poured herself into every other person but myself. I always put my family, my husband, my children, my schools first. And I never took time to really, really, enjoy being me and enjoying the Mrs. A that I am. So, when I went on a journey with Mrs. Udo Konjo, just discovering, and moving on to the next stage of my life, I realized that it was time to actually, a leader needed to curate time to actually, relax and then, regroup again for the next journey. So I took 6 weeks time off. I didn't plan to do 6 weeks actually. It was meant to be 4 weeks because it was half term with my daughter. But while I was there, I enjoyed myself so much that I had 2 weeks more. And what it was to connect with Funke, who is Mrs. A. What makes Mrs. A happy, with or without my schools, who is Mrs. A. And I think I discovered that if people can discover the essence very early, very important. They should not wait until they're 50 like I did. It's part of building it into your family very early in life, because it's very important, especially for women. A lot of women just pour and keep pouring and keep pouring and never take time to, time off for themselves. And sometimes we're waiting for their husbands to recognize that we need this me time. And so don't wait for anybody. Plan it into your life. I think it's something that everybody should intentionally do every year, to give yourself at least a week's break, or 2 if you can manage that, to go out by yourself, have a retreat by yourself, and do things that you enjoy doing by yourself.
Somebody who knew you, maybe your staff, knows you in school, and then meets Mrs. A at home. What are some things that they would be surprised to find out about you?
Will there be any surprise? I don't think so. Because I think I am Mrs. A both at home and in school. And because in my heart, I value people a lot. Because I believe that when you have an open door policy, when you can see people, then you can get the best out of them. So my staff would say to you that Mrs. A is very approachable, but just don't mess with Mrs. A. At home, my domestic staff will say the same thing. I'm that person that would sit with my domestic staff at home and we'll play and we'll gist. And it's the same Mrs. A. And so another thing, I'm super organized. I'm very intentional about my space. So when you go to my schools, you will see my handprints all over the place. So I'll come into your classroom, just the as I come into your classroom, I'm fixing your desk. I'm arranging the books. You see the children tucking in their shirts, And at home, from the door, my nanny will begin to pick any. In fact, somebody said to me, it's as if you have eyes all over your body. So I think I'm the same. Yes, life is too short to be serious, really. We need to live. What I'd like to share, especially based on the theme of this interview, which is she rises. There's that saying that when you wake up, it's your morning. It's never too late to rise. I think that the difference between those who... So there are 2 categories. You can fall and stay on the ground and think that that's the end of life. And you can fall and decide that I don't belong here. I can do better. And that requires deep work. And for whoever it is, I think that if you actually, hunker down, you can actually rise. I would say I'm one woman that, to the world, Miss A has had it good. But I had my downtime, and at some point I thought I could never rise again. But that's why I always go back to values, I am valuable. I deserve a seat at that table, and I don't belong to the ground. So my advice is, whatever and wherever you find yourself, just know that you can come up higher. Don't settle for where society has boxed you. Dare to open that box and dare to rise again.